This month full of horror-themed shenaniganry has, in part, come about due to a strong desire for self-improvement. I've historically been quite awful at coping with horror media, which is a problem because horror media, at least the real good stuff, is quite special. People fear many things, and horror media is an opportunity to analyze the sources of that fear, as well as its symbolic presentation through various artistic means. And while I have grown stronger and more adept at analyzing horror, thanks in no small part to this October, I've also fallen back on familiar comforts just as often. For every cry of fear or locus, I've played schlocky funtime games like Realm of the Dead or Splattermaster, until the latter slowly eclipsed the former. Now granted, all of these are horror-themed, but they're not necessarily trying to be frightening. And it serves as a sort of fable, I think. Even when we mean to improve and reach into new territory, we often find a familiar groove. We play to our strengths and ignore our weaknesses. Which, well, is no good, frankly. To improve, one has to strengthen their weaknesses and weaken their strengths, deliberately rely on skills which are underdeveloped so that they might grow. It's understandable to find such a thing discomforting because, after all, we tend to value ourselves for what we're presently capable of, and something like potential is hard to measure. That does not mean, however, that the effort is futile. The fact that we are capable to recognize these patterns means that we can interrupt or alter them. And from that lens, lapsing into familiarity is not a fault in oneself, but instead an expected step in maturation.